Ed and Cheryl Henderson from Albany, Georgia. Woohoo! Chuck and Nancy Morris are our uplines. And Rick, I want to tell you something. When you said a while ago that you have drugged us all over the place, we have been many places together, but we were not drugged. We went willingly because years ago, and I don't remember the date, we were sitting in an Amway function. New Life was a baby ministry at that time. And you came out on the platform and you said, you want to know how I made my money? And he got on his knees and he showed them how he made his money. Ed turned to me and he said, I can follow a man like that. And we have been covenant friends ever since. We're called here. We're called here because we love people. We're called here because God has told us to be here. You know, years ago when we first got married, I never dreamed about network marketing, about anything. And here we are, and we've been all over the world together. We're here because God told us to be here. We love MonaVie. We're drinking it, and we will feel it, and we will share it.
Amen.
Hey, come on up.
All the challenge? No. The challenge is? Or the challenge?
Challenge.
Oh, Lord. You know, sometimes...
Y'all listen, the schedule is blown. This is important.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I think, how did I get here? You know? I want you to get this vision. There was 30,000 people in this meeting. Okay? Can you get that? 30,000 people. We're backstage watching this. Sunday morning, had minister, altar call, 1,500 people get saved. We're sitting backstage crying, saying, okay, God, if this is what you want us to do, we'll do it. And so that's what we've been doing for 30 years. I heard a song coming down here. We were driving down here and we like to listen to songs. And there was a song by the Casting Crowns called Nobody. Have y'all heard that song? It says, I'm a nobody. I'm just a nobody. Trying to tell everybody about somebody who saved my soul. We're all nobodies. But God can take somebody like a long-haired hippie, dope-smoking, broke, trying to commit suicide, surfer, you know, and use him to reach 10,000 people a year for the Lord. And give him the wisdom to make hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, if he can do that to Brig, guess what? He can do it to everybody in here. We can reach the world. We can make a difference. You know, we don't have to be. I did a sermon years ago about who are all the prophets and evangelists and teachers. And the bottom line of it, you don't know who they are, for the most part. You don't know all the true prophets and the true evangelists and the true preachers, because you know why? Because they're just out there doing it. They're not necessarily on TV. Maybe some of them are, but for the most part, most of them aren't. Most of them are sitting in this room. Most of them are nobodies. But God can take the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And he can use every one of you sitting in this room to reach thousands and thousands of people. So I just want to encourage you. I'm here because I made a covenant with this man and his wife to support him. And God hadn't told me to do anything different. So I know God's calling is still on his life. You know, don't look at all the exterior stuff, okay? Don't look at stuff that I say or Briggs says, or, you know, you got to look at the heart. God doesn't look at all the, you know, God looks at your heart. He doesn't look at your outward appearance. He looks at your heart. And I know this man's heart. And his heart is to reach people for the Lord. So that's what I have to say.
I want to say something to you. Girl, there's a mighty call on your life. We know what you're walking through. Christmas Eve this past year, my son and his wife's house burned down, and she did not make it out. So I know the grief, but God is so good. He will wrap his arms around you, and he will take you to a level you've never known. And that precious child, I'm telling you, you're going to win a ton of people for Jesus. Amen. A ton of people for Jesus. I just want you to know, when you were speaking, I could see the presence of God all over you. I'm so happy that you're here and that you're a part of this. Amen. Amen. The challenge that Brig was talking about is that for those of you who feel led to sow into New Life Network, we in turn want to sow into you. And we have the privilege, and we're working with the 700 Club, to send to you, for you to watch with your children and your grandchildren, wonderful animated stories from the Bible called Superbook. And it's kind of amazing. We've seen a lot of adults get saved. You know, sometimes people in church, they get all confused with all that stuff. And it's simple. The gospel's simple. And these videos are powerful. So that's the challenge. Brig's going to match everything that you give. And it's going to help us to do the work of the ministry among you and your people in your organizations, and to support the other ministries that work alongside of us. So that's the challenge. And we are happy to be here. And I'm going to tell you something very special is going on in this room tonight. There is a knitting of the hearts, the hearts tonight. So we just love you. We thank you for helping us and joining us and partnering with us. And we love you. God bless you.